Hello, welcome back to the Blu-ray review, and today we're going to be looking at the Grand Budapest Hotel. This is a film from Wes Anderson that came out last year in 2014, and yeah, this is the American Blu-ray. Got it from Amazon.com. It was on sale for like $5, which was ridiculous, considering it hasn't even been out like a year at least. And I love the cover as well. And I guess in some of these Blu-ray reviews I'll show you like the packaging in depth and stuff, but here really it's just the case. It didn't have the slipcover because it was on offer and so many people bought it. So if anyone can actually help me out with the slipcover, I'd really like to get it, because Wes Anderson, one of my favourite directors, and I want to have the best possible editions I can of his films. But either way, you know, you've got the front cover there with the hotel itself, the ridiculous cast listing on the front of all the people who are in this film. Really nice front cover. I prefer it to the UK cover. There's a spine there, if the camera will focus. Oh, it is, nice. And then the back cover there as well. It did come with a digital HD copy. And the inside, just spin the disc around for you so you can see it. Again, nice disc artwork, I like it. Get it with decent lighting, there you go. Is a recyclable case, but it doesn't bother me too much really. So the film itself, Grand Budapest Hotel, I saw it in cinemas last year in New York, or upstate New York in Rochester. Went to see it with Robbie Webster and Connie, and really enjoyed it. Great Wes Anderson film, definitely not like up there as one of my favourites, I don't think. It might creep into the top 5 with repeat viewings, but I really liked it. It's a very interesting film that's kind of almost a bit like Inception. The film opens, you got this girl who goes into a cemetery, and there's like a shrine to this guy who used to be a writer, and she's reading a book that he wrote called The Grand Budapest Hotel. And then we cut back to him basically narrating the book he wrote as an old man, played by Tom Wilkinson, and then he takes us back to when he was a younger man, played by Jude Law, and Jude Law meets an old man in the Grand Budapest Hotel who was once a very young boy in the Grand Budapest Hotel, who was working as a bellboy for the concierge of the Grand Budapest Hotel, played by Ralph Fiennes, Gustav H. And that's basically the main bulk of the story is in the 30s, which is again told through, I guess, how many strings would it be? I mean, the girl reading the book, that's one, to the author who's talking about it in his book when he was a younger man, that's 3, who hears the story from the bellboy, that's 4. I mean, again, it just goes down and down, and I really like that little kind of narrative element to it. But the main bulk of the film takes place in the 30s, in the heyday of the Grand Budapest Hotel, and Ralph Fiennes is fantastic in the film as Gustav H. Just fantastic. Very British kind of performance, but very funny as well. I mean, a lot of people kind of see Ralph as a very serious, dramatic actor, and there's some nice little dramatic moments in this, but he's very funny as well, and really just powers the film along with his very flamboyant personality, I think. And again, the cast is just fantastic. You know, Ralph Fiennes is yeah, Gustav H. We have F. Murray Abraham, who plays Zero, who's the bellboy but grown up. Who's that? I don't know who that actor is actually. I think I know who he is, but a French actor, I think. Adrian Brody, anyway, Willem Dafoe, Jeff Goldblum, Harvey Keitel, Jude Law, Bill Murray has a brief role, Edward Norton has a brief role, Saoirse Ronan plays Agatha in the film, Jason Schwartzman has a brief role, Léa Seydoux has a brief role, Tilda Swinton plays an old woman who's murdered at the beginning of the film, and that's kind of the mystery going on, you know, and Gustav gets framed for it basically. Tom Wilkinson again, who plays the older author, Owen Wilson, and yeah, just an amazing cast that's put together, you know, by Wes Anderson. He works with so many actors and uses a lot of them again. I mean, again, let's have a look at people who've been in previous Wes Anderson films: Adrian Brody, Willem Dafoe, Jeff Goldblum, Jude Law, Bill Murray. No, Jude Law hasn't. That's right, yeah, he was saying on one of the featurettes he was bugging Wes Anderson for a long time to be in one of his films. But Bill Murray, Edward Norton, Jason Schwartzman, of course, Owen Wilson. You know, he always brings like another big name into it. You know, like Moonrise Kingdom, we had what's the name? Francis McDormand. We had Bruce Willis, Edward Norton, and this one again, Ralph Fiennes and Harvey Keitel. I don't think Harvey Keitel's been in a Wes Anderson film, no. But yeah, I love the film. Not to go into too much detail, but I really like it. I love the aesthetic of the way it looks. You know, I love the fact that the shifting aspect ratios. You know, in the 80s we have the widescreen, and then in the 60s it comes back in. The 30s it's like the square frame, and gives the film a classical kind of feeling. But it's still very Wes Anderson, you know, and he's an original. You know, well, people would debate that. You know, he kind of takes inspiration from, you know, French New Wave and things like that, but you know, I think he's kind of formed his own thing now, which I really like. And you know, this film won many Oscars for, I think, production design, makeup, and costume design as well. Maybe art, production design, you know, loads of stuff like that, and best score as well, which I didn't agree with at all. I really do like the score, but for me there were better ones last year for sure, particularly Interstellar. But either way, Oscar-winning film. You know, I wish that Wes Anderson had won for writing or something, but it is what it is. And the Blu-ray itself looks fantastic. It looks brilliant. I love it's just every frame just looks beautiful. And again, the way that Wes Anderson directs, you know, he constructs every frame, it seems, with great care and attention to detail, and everything is, you know, again, the production design is so great. Every frame is filled with stuff. I'll leave that in. Every frame is filled with stuff that you can look at and just enjoy. And again, the hotel itself, you know, the establishing shots, it's like a model, you know, and you have lots of just very nice little quirky Wes Anderson visual elements in the film. Now, yeah, the film looks great. I'm never one to really comment on sound, but again, sounds great to me. Now, the special features. We have a series of vignettes. The first one is Kunstmuseum Zabrowska Lecture. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Zabrowska? Zabrowka. That's the kind of the fictional place where the film takes place. This is a weird one. It was like Tom Wilkinson as character kind of narrating a little lecture about kind of the history of Zabrowka, kind of, and it wasn't quite, the quality wasn't that good, and I was wondering if that was intentional. It was okay, a couple of minutes long, nothing too special. Then we have the Society of the Cross Keys, which is a kind of look at the history that was created for the Society of the Cross Keys. I really like that one actually, and it kind of shows you little you know, like images and things like that they created. And you know, Wes Anderson is, again, he goes into detail on the backstory of things like that when he makes films. The other vignette is Mendel's Secret Recipe. Mendel's was the place where Agatha works and makes those the little desserts, and it kind of gives you instructions on how to make them. It's almost like a little cookery segment, and I wonder if it actually works and comes out like it does, but I'm sure it does, because why else would they put it on the Blu-ray? But it was cool. I'll never use it, but it was a nice little, you know, nice little addition to the supplementary features. We have Bill Murray. I can't see because the light is fading now. I can't actually read the right. Bill Murray tours the town. This is a good one. Bill Murray, in between filming, they filmed in some, was it in Germany maybe? I've forgotten now. It was right on the border of Germany and Poland, I think, and a town that they used to film in, and it's, again, just looks like it's out of the 30s, and not much has changed since then. And he loves it, and he just goes around basically and just is just talking about it. It's a really cool little thing. Again, not too long. We've got like 8 minutes, something like that, very roughly, maybe 10 minutes. But you can tell that he loves working with Wes Anderson, and having the opportunity to go to places like that, you know, to just do a little bit part, but actually get to, you know, savor a bit of European culture, I guess. And he said that he would love to go back there and just visit, you know, with his family and stuff. Then we have a few featurettes. The Making of the Grand Budapest Hotel. This is a really good one. I wish they do like a feature-length one, because I feel like there's so much they could go into, but a lot of information is covered, like how they found the place where they filmed, you know, inside the hotel, which is actually a former shopping mall, I believe. They looked for hotels, but they couldn't find one that worked, and they found this disused, abandoned shopping mall, I think it was. I think that's what it was. And they kind of just completely redone it, so it was a real place, wasn't a set. It looked fantastic, and they showed how they kind of first built the 60s version in a little box, and then they filmed everything in there, and then they stripped that away, opened it up, and then they, you know, put on the layers of the 30s design, which was great, I thought. And yeah, just the cast and things, talking about that. There's another featurette called Cast, where you just, again, very brief kind of little rundown of people who are in the film and their thoughts on being in the film. And finally, Wes Anderson, just a little featurette on him and his directing style. I found them all to be very enjoyable for me as a Wes Anderson fan, but you got to wonder if, you know, the big stuff's going to come in like 5-6 years when they do a Criterion release, which they've got to do, I guess. Criterion have released almost every one of his films at this point, and I'm sure they'll continue to do so once the rights free up from, I guess, who's this? 20th Century Fox released this, so I'm sure the Criterion will be packed with stuff. The final thing, rounding off the special features, is a stills gallery, which is just actually quite good. I enjoyed it. They kind of have props, they just lay them down, took pictures of them, and you can see close up the details of like things and like newspapers. It's mentioned in one of the featurettes that Wes Anderson actually wrote all the articles on all the newspapers. Like, again, just really cool little touches and attention to detail, which you'll never really see in the film, but it's cool to kind of know that it's there, you know, I guess. And yeah, this is a region-free Blu-ray as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm aware, I should say. Yeah. It says region A on the back. Yeah, it says region A, but it's actually region-free, so anyone wants to buy it from America, I guess you can do that, but I don't think there'll be much difference really where you get it from. I just picked it up from the US because it was ridiculously cheap, and I like the cover more as well, so there's that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The Grand Budapest Hotel, great Blu-ray, great film, highly recommended. Wish there was more special features, so I would give it, I'd give it like 4 stars out of 5, I think, for this one. Just based on the whole package, the way it looks, the film itself. And special features very lacking. I'd give that maybe like 2.5 out of 5, but still good and still enjoyable. But overall, 4 out of 5 for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you with the next one.
I don't know, 5 seconds.